Dear Minister Gabriel, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, on behalf of Körber-Stiftung, it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this Berlin Foreign Policy Forum. It's a great pleasure for us that so many politicians, officials, experts and journalists have joined us for the 7th Berlin Foreign Policy Forum, and it's great to have you all here. Since 7 years now, the Berlin Foreign Policy Forum has become the most important gathering on German foreign policy here in Berlin. It's an ideal opportunity to look back at the past year, but also to look ahead on what is yet to come. This year's forum takes place in a particular time of uncertainty for both Germany and for Europe. It's now 72 days that we had our federal elections here in Germany. We have not yet a government. Jamaica negotiations, as you all know, have collapsed. Berlin was preoccupied in the past weeks with defining the role of the president, crunching numbers on possible minority or majority governments, rereading the basic law, counting party funds for potential another round of elections, because that would be expensive. And also maybe some politicians have also pondered whether it's a lot of fun to do another campaign in Germany in the middle of winter. In such an environment, one thing is for sure, foreign policy is taking the back seat. Seems to be far away. Yet we know conflicts and crises are not going away. They don't stand still, and a Germany which is consumed by its internal domestic affairs will have effects on Europe and beyond. There will be consequences. And in the past years, we have learned one thing the hard way, that if we turn away from the world will come to us. The challenges are enormous. The to-do list is long. Paris is waiting for a response on its ambitious reform proposals for the European Union. Europe is ahead of difficult fiscal negotiations, and it's suffering from divisions between new and old member states, not to mention the Brexit talks. Germany's neighborhood to the east and to the south is far from stable, and two central pillars of our foreign policy, transatlantic relations and the Western liberal order, are under severe pressure. At Körber Foundation, we have committed ourselves to strengthening Germany's role in international affairs, Germany's engagement in Europe and beyond. And at this moment of uncertainty, it is for us of particular importance to draw attention to Germany's responsibility and the expectation of our international partners towards Germany's foreign and security policy. Therefore, we think that our new publication, the Berlin Pulse, the new guide to the opportunities and to the challenges of German foreign policy, comes at the right time, and we are very, very proud that we can present this new publication to you today, and we will continue to publish this Berlin Pulse every year from now at the Berlin Foreign Policy Forum. Prominent international contributors, Condi Rice, Jens Stoltenberg, Timothy Garton-Ash, Javad Zarif, just to name a couple of them, have outlined their expectations towards German foreign policy in different regions and policy areas, from Europe's neighborhood to Asia, from defense to development policy. And I'm delighted that some of the authors are also here at the Berlin Foreign Policy Forum today. But the Berlin Pulse is not only about international expectations, it's also about the domestic base of German foreign policy. Like in the past years, we have asked the Germans what they think about our foreign policy, what should be the priorities, and who should be the most important partners. We have conducted this representative survey after the German elections in September, and I would like to take a couple of minutes to present you the most important results. First, for many years, German experts and other experts have demanded that Germany becomes more active in international relations. However, the Germans do not share the same level of enthusiasm when it comes to international engagement. So a key question that we asked in the last 3 years was whether Germans support more engagement or more restraint. The figure has remained remarkably stable. 52% prefer international restraint, 43% more engagement. A slight increase for the latter from 37% in 2014 to 41% in 2016. Support for restraint is highest among the voters for the AfD, 78%, in comparison to 42% to 48% for the other parties' voters. Second, some observers have voiced concern that domestic uncertainty in Germany could become a crisis for the European continent and beyond. The Germans are indeed concerned about a weakening of Germany's international role. In a question that we have asked shortly after the collapse of the Jamaica talks, altogether 47%, nearly half, believe that domestic uncertainty will weaken or weaken very much Germany's role in Europe and the world, while 42% believe it will have no particular effect. Third, when it comes to the main challenges of German foreign policy, the relationship with the United States is not anymore perceived as the greatest challenge. The figure is down from 30% to 19%. Refugees, however, remain the most important topic for Germans when it comes to foreign policy. And a majority, 56%, support the idea to limit the number of refugees. Fourth, with President Macron's election, France tops the list of our most important partners for German foreign policy with 63%, followed by the United States with 43%. Last year, however, both were still on the same level with 60%, so this is a remarkable change. While France is seen as our most important partner, a majority of Germans, 54%, reject Macron's economic and financial reform proposal and the proposal to install a European Minister of Finance. In cooperation with the Pew Research Center, we have fielded 6 questions on the transatlantic relationship on both sides of the Atlantic, and I would like to thank the Pew Research Center for the excellent cooperation in this endeavor. The interesting result is that the Trump effect is very noticeable in Germany. 56% of Germans see the relationship as somewhat or very bad, while in the United States, 68% of Americans think the relationship is somewhat or very good. So it's exactly the opposite. Americans are much more optimistic about the state of transatlantic relations as the Germans. You can find all other results of the Berlin Pulse, don't forget your personal copy, as well as the electronic version on our new website, theberlinpulse.org. We will present further results during the course of the conference. Polling is a difficult business, but it's a crucial instrument for decision making. Asking the most important questions repeatedly every year allows us to distinguish between outliers and underlying characteristics. Because in the long run, foreign policy can only be successful if it is grounded in a general common understanding among the population about Germany's role in international affairs. Condi Rice has written in the Berlin Pulse, and I quote, "The days when people did not trust German activity in the international system are long gone. We need others than the United States to play an international role," end of quote. But the question, of course, is what kind of role should Germany play in Europe and beyond? Timothy Garton-Ash has written in the Pulse, in the Berlin Pulse, that Germany should be the central player in Europe, holding the team together, a player like Zinedine Zidane or Franz Beckenbauer. Now, for those of you who are into football, they will know that Zidane is a very different player from Franz Beckenbauer, because Zidane is an attacking midfielder, and Franz Beckenbauer was central defender and basically invented the role of the modern sweeper in football. Dear Minister Gabriel, we know when you were younger, you neither preferred the position of an aggressive attacking midfielder nor of a central defender, but you played the left back, linker Verteidiger. We are very eager to learn from you as an expert in your speech how you see Germany's role. Would it be Zidane, Beckenbauer, or the young Gabriel? It's great to have you here. Thanks for kicking off the Berlin Foreign Policy Forum, and I would like to thank the German Foreign Office for the great cooperation. Minister, you have the floor. Thank you very much.